sine of k divided by cosine of k equals tan. Okay. Sine, and then we write it sin and k, sync. Okay. No one asked you, Morgan Whalen waiting list person. Okay.
There's probably like 7 people.
So now you got 25 minutes before the window opens. Yes. We'll pause what we're doing just so you guys can get tickets.
Thanks.
Okay. So today we're going to start solving. You're going to be in your notebooks, but you do need out. It's not so much that you need out the identities side of your sheet. It's more you need the unit circle side of your sheet. Okay. But you might need your identity side. You never know. Okay. Things upcoming next week, Tuesday, we have a formative. And then the following week, we have a test. Okay? All right? Here we go. All right. So, these are two examples here. Actually, here, let me throw a little shade over here. And then let me throw a little shade over here. And then let me throw a little shade down here. Okay? So this is an example of a trigonometric solving function. Okay? The reason I've got a think box up there is because I think of it, when I don't see it as a trig function first, I see it as an algebraic function. Okay? And the algebraic function that I see there is 3y minus 2 equals y. And I need to solve for y. Okay? So what would you do up in that one to solve for y? In this green one up here with my funky equal sign all of a sudden that I see. How would you go about solving 3y minus 2 equals y? Subtract 3y from both sides? That gives you negative 2 equals negative 2y. Right? Then we would divide by negative 2. And then that would give you positive 1 is equal to y. Yes? Okay. You're going to treat the trigonometric equations the exact same way you treat your algebraic equations, except now you're going to be solving for the trig function that's in your problem. Okay? So here in this one, I would subtract 3 cosines of x from both sides. That's going to give me then negative 2 equals negative 2 cosines of x. Then I would divide both sides by negative 2. That's going to give me positive 1 equals cosine of x. With me so far? So we've done our algebraic solving. But now, because it's a trig function, it's got even more gravitas to it than just solving for a singleton variable. I need to know on the first lap of the unit circle. That's what solving over the course of solving over this here means first lap of the unit circle. Okay? On the first lap of the unit circle, where is cosine equal to positive 1? At 0, right? So x here is equal to 0 radians. We're going to solve in radians the entire time. Because if we plug in 0 radians, we get a cosine value of 1. Okay? With me so far? Okay. Let's try number 2. Doesn't matter which order you do it in, or if you even just do it all at once. But here I'm going to subtract 3 cosine of x from both sides. At the same time, I'm going to subtract 1. If you want to do it in 2 steps, you do you. But that then gives me 1 equals negative 2 cosine of x. Now I'm going to divide by negative 2. That gives me negative 1/2 is equal to the cosine of x. First lap of the unit circle, where is cosine equal to negative 1/2? Just 2 pi over 3? So I have to give them both. The old adage of the degree of the polynomial tells you how many answers you get doesn't work in trig. Okay? Because the left one only had 1 answer. The right one looks very similar, has 2 answers. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Kick it up a notch. Now we can have multiple trig functions in there. And we're still going to be solving it. Square root 2 times the tangent of x times the cosine of x minus the tangent of x equals 0. Okay? In my think box, this would be square root 2xy minus x equals 0. I shouldn't use x because I don't want to use x. Tap the brakes. Square root 2ab minus a. I want to solve that one. Right? What can we do first? What would you like to do? No. Because you wanted to add tangent and then divide by tangent, right? If I was previewing your next one. Yeah, I know we want to keep it equal to 0 if you can. Especially when you have multiple ones. But it's going to get ugly. I mean, we can, but it's going to get real ugly real fast. So let's not do that. My guess is that you would avoid it, especially because of the way that you groaned 2 days ago when I dropped this word. Factor. What are we going to factor out? Factor out an a, which in our trig case is we're factoring out a tangent. Okay? So if I factor out a tangent, What's left over? Square root 2 cosine minus 1. Factored now, yes? Okay. Refreshing my memory. Now, this is going to take you back to your algebra days. Refreshing my memory when we had it factored and it equaled 0. This is why we didn't also add tangent, because we've got to get it equal to 0. If we had it factored and it's equal to 0, now what can we do? Set what equals 0? So set the two factors equal to 0? Yeah. So right now what I can do is I can say the tangent of x equals 0 and the square root of 2 cosine of x minus 1 equals 0. Tangent of x equals 0, where first lap of the unit circle is tangent equal to 0. 0 in pi? Moving on to this one, I got to solve this one for cosine. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1. Then I'm going to divide by square root of 2. So I get cosine of x is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. Where first lap of the unit circle is cosine equal to root 2 over 2. Pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. All 4 of those are your answers. 0, pi over 4, pi, and 7 pi over 4. Preferably, just to make it, this is flat out just to make it easier on me. Preferably you put them in numerical order. But that's just me. I can handle that. Did not. Yeah, buddy? Try that one. Okay. What would you do first?
Add 3.
Add 3 to both sides. Love it. So then that gives me 4 cosine squared of x equals 3. What would you do next? Divide by 4. Love it. That gives me cosine squared of x equals 3/4. What would you do next? Square root it. That gives me what? Cosine of x equals what? What's the kicker that you added the second time after I asked? We took a square root, we're solving. We got to do plus or minus. Okay? So where does cosine of x equal positive square root 3 over 2? Pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Where does cosine equal negative square root 3 over 2? 5 pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. So all 4 of those are your answer. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Let's do this one together. I like this one. 2 sine squared plus 3 cosine minus 3 equals 0. Can I factor anything out right now? No. Okay. So then I can't do anything in terms of math unless I can get rid of either sine or cosine. Is there a way that I could rewrite sine or cosine in this particular case? Correct. I can do what, Gene? Agree with that. Now what have I done? We made it into one trig function. Okay? Got it? It's number 7 on the front side of your green sheet.
Oh, yeah. No, I was.
Oh, okay. Okay? With me? Now I got to distribute. 2 minus 2 cosine squared of x plus 3 cosine of x minus 3 equals 0. Yes? Negative 2 cosine squared of x plus 3 cosine of x minus 1 equals 0. Do we agree with that? 2 minus 3. Just combined my like terms. Yes? Do we agree with 2 cosine squared of x minus 3 cosine of x plus 1 equals 0? What did I do? Multiply both sides by negative 1. Because what are we going to have to do next? You can groan about it again. Factor. Okay? All right? Now, what kind of factoring is this one going to be? Can I GCF? No, can't. Because there's no cosine on the 1. So I can't GCF this. So then what? What's the next one in our factoring order? 3-minute warning. What's the next one in our factoring order? After GCF, it's not the difference of perfect squares. It's not the difference or sum of cubes. What's next? Nope. That's a solve. That's not a factor.
Funny. That's not funny.
That's a solve. That's not a factor. What? Nope. That's solving still. We're factoring. It's the major kind of factoring. You should know this.
Where you have
The two sets of parentheses. The butt cheek factoring.
Is that the correct math term?
There's GCF is factoring, right? And then after that, then we look at the difference of perfect squares, that's factoring. Then we look at the sum or difference of cubes, that's factoring. Then if it's a trinomial, we do this. If it's 4 or more terms, we go by grouping. Yeah, there's different layers of just factoring. Yes. It's like an onion. It also, because factoring also makes you cry. I get it. See? All right, so let's factor this one. In my brain, I'm thinking 2y squared minus 3y plus 1, and I want to factor it. So what two things multiply together to be 2y squared? 2y and y, right? My only choice is there. So then this is going to be 2 cosine of x and cosine of x. What multiplies together to be 1? 1 and 1, right? Only choices? Only choices. One has to be positive, one has to be minus, right? Or they both have to be positive or they both have to be negative. Talk to me. Say it loud. What did you say? Say it loud. She said you did. She ratted you out.
Well, I got my idea.
Both negative.
Why both negatives?
Because
Hold on. Let me just ask the source. Why both negatives? Because this is positive, so that means they got to be the same sign. Because this one is negative, they both have to be negative. We're not even anywhere near done yet.
I think
Now what? Now we gotta do what? Now we gotta solve each one. Solve first one. Add 1. Then divide by 2. Cosine of x is 1/2. Where is cosine of x 1/2? Pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. Add 1. Cosine of x is 1. Where is cosine of x 1? It's 0. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? It's over here, you know.
It's not Wayland, right?
What?
It's Wayland, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, so I don't really care. To be honest with you.
I think it's
I said it. I said it, and I said it out loud.
No. What about Miranda Lambert?
I'm a fan of hers.
what kind of music do you like?
All kinds.
Rock and roll.
I feel like I
You
can't
like
see
Johnny
listening
Cash.
to,
No.
Try this one.
Do you like the radio?
I really love Amazon Music because I just pick a song and that's my starting song, and then it kind of goes through. It just kind of shuffles like everything. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So we get 6 sine squared of x minus 5 sine of x minus 4 equals 0. See what the pattern is yet? We want to get it equal to 0 all of the times. Okay? Get it equal to 0 all of the times. This then factors to be 2 sines of x, 3 sines of x, 1 and 4. We want a negative there and we want a positive there. Quick check of it. That gives me in here 3 sines of x. Out here, it gives me negative 8 sines of x. Add those two together. I have the negative 5 sines of x that I need. Okay. Then we set them equal to 0. Where is sine equal to negative 1/2? 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Where on the unit circle is the sine of x equal to 4/3?
Never.
Why not?
Okay.
Why is it impossible?
I can sit in.
Hold on. Why is it impossible? Or, more even simply put, it's bigger than 1. Yep, sine has to be between negative 1 and positive 1. So this one does not produce anything. So these are your only 2 answers. Okay?
Been in there for an hour now.
How many more of these?
Oh, yeah.
Try that one.
Try it.
All right, so if I were to rewrite this, it would be 3 over cosine minus cosine equals 2. Do I like fractions?
No.
No, so let's get rid of them. How are we going to get rid of them? Multiply this one by cosine, right? If I multiply this one by cosine, what else do I got to do? I multiply that one by cosine. And I'm going to multiply that one by cosine. So now I get 3 minus cosine squared of x equals 2 cosine of x.
Oh no.
What's the key? What do we want to get it equal to? 0. So I'm going to move everything to the right. That's going to give me 0 equals cosine squared plus 2 cosine minus 3. Now I can factor. Was that a pause for me? Okay. That's a cosine and a cosine. 2 numbers that multiply together to be negative 3 and add to be positive 2. Positive 3, negative 1. What's up, Seamus?
How do you go from 3 minus cosine squared x to 0?
I added cosine squared to both sides, and I subtracted 3 from both sides.
Isn't there something to do with that rule about cosine equaling like regular cosine or something?
Nope. That's different. Yep. That's cosine of negative x, where the angle is negative.
Oh,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Can cosine of x be equal to negative 3?
no.
Nope. Not inside our negative 1 to positive 1 value. Where on the unit circle is cosine equal to 1? At 0. So 0 is our only answer. Okay? As of today, now, in your homework packet,
No. Hey guys, look, I'm making butter now.
you can do all the way up to number 26. So you should have the first 16 done already, and now we just added 10 more.
Hey, Lindsay, before I ask questions,